Welcome to the mayhem. Dick and Lloyd mayhem. Media mayhem. Marketing a mayhem. You might love it, you might hate it. It's my favorite freaking show.
Hey, welcome to the show. Glad you're here. Thank you for downloading, streaming, or ignoring the show, whatever you decided to do. Well, we got a good one today.
Dick, what a show. We got Nick Searcy visiting us from Hollywood. We've got Chief's great Art Still and Kendall Culbertson, a local entrepreneur with lots of cool stuff going on. We are going to have some big fun.
We are jam-packed with cigars, beer, and a lot of good talk. But, hang on a minute. Let me grab this. Hello?
Hey, Dick, Buzz, Martini.
Oh, Buzz, yeah, our sales guy for the podcast.
Hey, yeah, champ, listen, I think I might have an idea. It's going to get us out of this nobody listens to the damn podcast rut we've been in lately.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's a promo idea. I think you're perfect for it. It's the sport of kings.
Table tennis?
No, stupid, I'm talking about boxing.
Boxing?
Yeah.
Huh?
So here's the deal. We get you in the ring
What?
on television.
What?
So you're wearing a big robe that's got Dick and Loy's media, marketing, mayhem, whatever the hell it is, on the back with the logo.
I don't know.
And people see that on TV and they're like, hey, I wonder what that is. I wonder if it doesn't suck, and maybe they tune it in at least once.
I don't know. There's a little something I'm concerned about.
Come on, man. What's the matter? I think it's a great idea.
I'm afraid it would turn out like this.
Good morning, capacity crowd here this morning as Wilson takes on the challenger. Wilson looks good, doesn't he?
Well, I tell you, Johnny's really pumped up for this. I think he's gained a lot of weight. He's really confident. I think he can go out there and
All
do
right, there goes the bell. Wilson steps out. He's up. Wilson's down. Wilson is down. Unbelievable fight. 1 second into the round. Wilson is out.
What a weakling.
Yeah, I guess I agree with that what a weakling thing. Never mind.
Where are we, Loy, broadcasting from today?
Dick, what a great environment. We're at the Outlaw South at 137th and Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the coolest, great big man cave in Kansas City.
You know, and I just lit a cigar, and I think it's out already, so you're going to have to help me through this here a little bit.
Well, I can give you a little
good.
coaching on that.
That works good. You know, Loy, we've had a lot of guests on this show, but we've not really had the big stars. Matter of fact, our guest today is such a big star, Peabody Award-winning international film and TV star, Nick Searcy. Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
I thought you was talking to me.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I can't imagine how excited you must be to have me on the show.
You know,
Well, you mean Art.
Nick, because of your stature, we brought an extra host in today.
Right, just to balance the table.
To kind of do that, yeah. Right. And so former Kansas City Chiefs star Art Still is here. Art, how you doing, buddy?
My lower back, I'm having some problems right there with my shoulders and stuff. Anybody got anything medicinal for that problem?
Let me get that for you here. Okay, good deal.
Oh, I'm feeling much better already. Thank you, man. Have another.
Well, we just spent the morning playing golf at Deer Creek with all these crazy guys, and
playing at golf.
Well, that's where you had some good shots.
Yes, every now and then there were flashes of brilliance. Every now and then.
I think that pink ball really helped you out there a number of times. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is a beautiful course, though, isn't it, Nick? What do you think of our wonderful public?
It's so lush, and the greens were speedy, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful course.
You put on a heck of a demonstration out there, too.
I did. I know. There were a couple.
Now, how does it rate to your Beverly Hills and Hollywood Hills golf courses?
Well, you know, Los Angeles is basically a desert at its heart, so it can't compete in terms of the lushness and the beauty of the Kansas golf courses. That's for sure.
I heard that, you know, every hole you got to hug a tree and free willy when you're playing out in California.
Among other things, yeah. There's a lot of obligations. You know, there's a lot of, like, you know, areas that you can't go into because it's environmentally unsafe to enter them, you know, that kind of thing. And you have to preserve the desert wildlife.
So it sounds like we're going
your
into the
golf
time
ball
zone right now.
Yeah, and that's downtown L.A., I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of free agents on it.
Yeah, but no, the public courses in LA are fun because they're wide, and some of the greens and some of it's pretty well maintained, but nothing like what we played today. That's
All right,
for sure.
good. I feel good about that. You feel good about that?
Yeah,
Lauren?
I'm glad to be here.
Nick, let's get into the business of why people in Los Angeles are jealous of you.
Well, because mostly it's because I'm able to have a decent life and still maintain my status as an international film and television star.
Yeah.
A lot of them are kind of locked into having to chase that sort of dream, and I've already achieved it.
Yeah.
So I can relax. I'm kind of like I'm coasting now.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
sort of.
I thought that's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And so I can spend a lot of my leisure time sort of, sucking at golf and just sort of doing things
The
that
best
I do.
at that. I mean, he's the greatest.
Yeah.
Especially with the pink ball.
That's right.
Now you've played golf with Mr. Searcy before, haven't you?
I'm the one that gave him lessons and all.
Is that right?
That great game that he had, you're looking at the teacher, the master.
Really? Okay.
Well, Art and I mostly play like celebrity golf tournaments where it's a scramble. So, most of what Art and I are obligated to do is like once or twice a game, hit a good shot.
That's the whole
it.
point.
That's
Especially my role, I know specifically my role is they bring me in because usually they're corporate sponsors. They might have a foursome man not too good at golf.
Gotcha.
So they put me in that group.
Yeah.
And by the time they're finished, they feel very proud of their game playing along with me. So I throw my game to make them look good. I sacrifice my game.
You
just
are
like today,
a giver.
I sacrifice.
Yeah.
Just like today, you feel pretty good about your game, don't you, Dick?
I followed you on all the drives, and I felt real good.
Yeah. And then when you went in the sand trap, and when you had to go in the pond for a little swim and catch a couple fish and free willy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that kind of stuff, sure. Yeah.
One of my favorite things is when you go in one of these celebrity golf tournaments and they pair you up with your foursome and you get to the hole, and I always get there and they go, "Well, who's our celebrity today?" And I go, "It's me, guys. You lucked out." And then I get up to the first tee box and I say, when you go home tonight, you can tell everybody, I didn't know who the hell that celebrity was, but he could sure hit the hell out of a golf ball. And then no matter what happens on the tee, it's comedy gold. If you hit a good one, it's great.
Yeah.
If you shank it off, it's whatever.
It's perfect.
It's all in the presentation. You tell them about, a lot of times I use that term, I'm going through anger management.
I've heard that one, yeah.
And, I take playing golf seriously. So I can hit a house and all. Oh, good shot, in the woods. Maybe kill a couple dogs, man. Oh, man, good shot. Then, about 4 or 5 holes down the line, I was just joking.
Yeah. Don't just tell Art it was good. Don't make him mad.
Yeah, there you go. Good.
And
Good
the hemorrhoids always come into play too, especially when I'm pulling the ball to the left.
I heard you mention that a couple times.
I didn't want to blame mine for the round today.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Well, Nick, you're in Kansas City
I am.
right now.
I can't believe it.
And maybe everybody wants to know why you're here. I mean, Dick and I have guests from Kansas City and occasionally from LA because that's about the only places that we're allowed.
I think so. Yeah, the time hasn't run out yet on that.
Dick and I both have spent time in LA, so we meet interesting people there. And I met Nick out here. But Nick, you're here. What's going on?
Well, I came here to announce last night the release of a movie that I directed called Gosnell, which is a movie about the abortion doctor Kermit Gosnell, who was convicted of murder in 2013 for killing live babies. It's a comedy. There's a lot of songs. And
Yeah.
But anyway, I came in yesterday to kind of make the announcement at the National Right to Life Convention, which was here in Kansas City. And I did that because I figured that would get me a lot more work in Hollywood.
Yo, you're going to be busy now.
Yeah.
They're going to love that.
Is that your phone? I think that's your phone going off. Yeah. When and where would we see this film?
It's going to be released in 750 theaters nationwide October 12th. So they're going to start it off in targeted areas where they think the film will do well and hopefully grow it from there. But be looking for it. There's going to be a lot of publicity about it. And it also we need a lot of word of mouth because they don't have a lot of a marketing budget.
Sure.
So this will be opening in Boulder and West Hollywood.
Yes, San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Berkeley.
Okay.
Berkeley's
Okay.
big. Berkeley's going to be a big audience for it. Mostly, it's really, there's a lot of places in California it's opening. It's opening in Kansas City. It's opening in Houston and Dallas and the Southeast. A lot of places in the Southeast to start with.
Very good.
Well, I was going to say, too, and that's, have the privilege. We played last week in Children's Charities in Lexington, Kentucky, and all. Johnny Bench and Matthew Mitchell and all them guys. A great time and all, too. And we were sitting around talking, and Nick had mentioned God. I never heard of it and all, too. I thought he said God, he's talking about God Snell. And I said, man, that sounds like a good documentary and all. Remember I asked, I said, is it a documentary? And then he explained a little bit because we was at a function going on, and I just started Googling it, and then once you get into it, it's pretty deep. I mean, it's kind of horrifying, too, so to speak. I wound up getting the book. By the time I came back, my wife and all, we coming back from Lexington, half of the book, I've read half of the book. I'm just about almost completed, and it's just, it's kind of horrifying and all, some of the things that was taking place. And then personally for me, and I always tell people, I'm a lifeaholic, passion for life, and that was just the complete opposite, what was taking place.
Oh,
and
yeah,
all that.
sure.
And when you told me about it, and this didn't happen a long time ago. I mean, what, 4 or 5 years ago?
He was convicted in 2013, but he'd been doing it for 27 years.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, and he's from Philadelphia. I'm from Camden, New Jersey. Never heard anything about it. And, I've been talking to some of the friends around here, and they never heard of it and all, too. And I think, like you were saying.
Yeah, it's part of the story is that the media would not cover the trial because they were afraid of the facts of what he did. They were afraid that if they revealed those to the public or made too much of it, that it would somehow benefit the pro-life movement.
Wow.
And so, rather than sort of having to confront those issues, they just sort of let's pretend this trial's not going on. Let's not cover it.
What's the message you hope people get out of this film?
Well, the film is not, it's not a diatribe, it's not preachy. All I want people to do is just confront the facts of what happened and let them make their own decision about it. I mean, that was what I felt very strongly going in, is that we did not need to dress this story up at all or tell people what to think about it. What we needed to do was just show them what happened. And no matter what side of the issue you're on, I mean, I always thought this film would be a kind of a common ground. No matter what side of the issue you're on, you got to admit that this stuff is beyond the pale. And when you confront that this stuff is beyond the pale, and part of the movie is telling about what a legal abortion is and describing the difference between what he did and what a legal abortion is. And when I first read the script, I realized how much I did not know about what an actual legal abortion is, and that was what was shocking to me. And that's sort of why I felt so strongly about being part of the movie. Is I think people, if you're going to talk about that issue, let's talk about what it is. Let's not pretend it's something else. It is this.
Well, now in these screenings, there have been some private screenings of the film, and I've seen some of the reactions. It's very, very intense, and people really just are enthralled by this film. And
because it's new information to a lot of people, and it's important information. It's information that you need to know.
Yeah, I was going to say, even the book, I was reading the book and all, it was taken from a journal's perspective. It wasn't taken from any side or whatever. And the facts were just, when you listen to it and when you read it and all, it's just facts. I mean, it's facts on the record and all, and you can't argue the facts and all, too. Yeah. And like you said, too, in reference to the procedure, no matter if it's legal or illegal, it is, I mean, I don't think people understand the process and all, too. And I think once people understand the process, and I got 5 girls, 6 boys, and I got 18 grandkids. And then you see all the things going on, young ones nowadays and all, too. You just kind of, young ones that maybe had the opportunity of maybe doing something great, this process is.
Yeah.
And there's enough people out there and all, too, that, man, one way you can work through these issues that we're talking about in a civilized, well, I'm asking you to use the word civilized manner, but you know, in reference, there's a lot of people, man, that would adopt and do things like that and all, too, of young ones and all.
Well, you kind of buzzed by that, but I wanted to just make sure people heard that right. Art still has 11 kids.
Oh, no, and I'm just halfway there. I'm just getting back in shape. I was running. That's why I wasn't playing golf. You see me running the hills. I still got the second half of the season coming up.
That's right, because you're going for 15, right?
No, 22. I only got 11. I only got the first part of the team. I just got the offense. I'm going for the defense. Except I'm not the coach, though. The boss lady is the coach. I'm the equipment manager.
You're the offensive coordinator.
No, I'm the equipment man. I'm not in it. I'm down there. I just clean the locker rooms up and all, man. Clean jerseys.
Well, Nick, directing is just a small part of what you do. This is your, by the way, you've directed other films, right?
Yeah, I've directed a couple of music videos, and I directed a film 20 years ago, which won a bunch of film festivals, and it was so much work that it took me 20 years to even try it again. After I directed, I went, I like that little job where I had a few lines and I sat in the trailer and griped about craft service.
Well, if this isn't bizarre enough, the music video, I believe it was Rodney Carrington that pulled you into that, into it, right?
Yeah, I did a music video for Rodney Carrington.
Some of our listeners might be familiar with Rodney Carrington, the great comedian, singer
out of Tulsa.
Yeah. Who had a show on ABC for 2 seasons called Rodney.
Yes.
And you played his best friend.
I did. He had a best friend in real life named Barry, who was 10 years older than him and traveled with him, and I got to play Barry and got to know Rodney pretty well.
Well, that's quite an interesting man.
We had a ball. We had a ball.
You've got this best friend thing down, don't you?
Yeah.
I just pulled up Castaway with Tom Hanks last night, and there you are as his best friend Stan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do. I stand beside the star.
I said at one point Tom was doing this whole diatribe, and they did a quick shot of Nick paying attention.
Yeah, that's what I do mostly. I pay attention. That's my role.
That was cool.
So acting and directing and writing, you've got some projects out there that you have written, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping that when Gosnell's released and we make millions of dollars, I've got another film that I want to direct lined up that a friend of mine and I wrote about gospel quartet music in the 60s, which is a very hot topic right now.
Really?
I don't know if you're aware of that. But
No, that's, yeah.
You didn't know that, Dick?
That
comes with the half pint of Thunderbird, don't it? That's how it got started on the corners, man, back in New Jersey, man.
That's right.
Tell me about something that everybody needs to get on YouTube and see, and that's the acting school.
Oh, hi, and thanks for coming to acting school. I'm Nick Searcy. You knew that. Well, Acting School with Nick Searcy is a series of 10 YouTube videos that I did as a public service.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, just so that people would know how to behave when they met an international film and television star like myself, so that they wouldn't embarrass themselves and, just know that how to treat me with the deference that I'm worthy of. It also means that over 99% of actors never ever possess the thing that I have that I'm about to show you, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm pretty damn proud of it. And I'm talking about my parking space. And so that's why I did these videos.
You're supposed to say that's for community service hours, and you need some community service hours on that one.
Yeah, he's pre-booking them, so in case anything happens,
Instead of wearing an orange jumpsuit up on 64 or 70 and all, man.
Well, I watched the one about the parking spot.
Yes.
Where you beat up the guy with no legs.
Wow.
Well, he parked in,
Why can't we all just get along?
Well, he parked in my parking space.
He deserved it, then.
That's right. And if you know anything about Hollywood, if you have a parking space at a studio with your name on it and somebody parks in it, that's just not done.
Wow.
Well, what brings you back here to my parking space, Brian Anderson? You looking for an autograph or something?
No, actually, we were done, and they told me to come out back by the handicapped parking spot to pick me up.
What? By this handicap spot?
Well, yeah, they said it was the only one.
No, there must be some mistake. See, this is my parking spot. See? Has my name on it. And, this guy was an Iraq War veteran, Purple Heart. He's a friend of mine now. You know, Brian Anderson.
Oh, you talking about Brian?
Brian.
No, he came back and whooped you, didn't he?
No. That's not true.
Yeah, it looked like
that
he
was
did.
another episode.
That was not true?
No, that's not true.
Oh, Brian, man.
Oh my God! I'm being attacked! Help! I'm telling. Oh God! Help! Help!
No, he had a bunch of guys with him, and you know those guys sort of ganged up on me. So, but no,
that's
I
what it
was
was.
really about to put a serious ass whooping on Brian before his buddy showed up.
You better be glad they came when they did, Brian Anderson. I was about to whoop that ass.
You learn when you mess with a soldier.
Well, you learn what happens when you mess with an actor's parking space, you bastard. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Brian's a good man, too.
Brian's great. But one more thing about Brian, it's like when I wrote that episode, you know, originally the idea was to have a wounded veteran who parked in my space, and we were just going to get in an argument. And my friend Gary Sinise, and he helped me find Brian. He said, you should talk to Brian. And so when I talked to him on the phone, I told him the idea, and he said, well, have you seen my website? And I said, no. And he said, well, I can do flips. You know, we could really, I'm pretty physical. We could wrestle, you know. And I said, well, you just get ready for an ass whooping then, because that's what it's going to be.
He got a hold of the right guy when he said wrestle.
Yeah. And Brian, hey, got a lot of, he's got a lot of skills, as I would say, man, too.
Well, Brian's great, and you should definitely go if you haven't seen it. It's episode 6 called Space Time.
Hey, these teeth are capped. They're very expensive. Come back anytime. Park anywhere except for my space.
And it's Brian Anderson versus
good one,
Nick
yeah.
Searcy.
You've wrestled before. I mean, I hate to get off of the Nick Searcy acting school from the other thing and the writing and the directing and the producing and all that. I mean,
yes, I have experience in the wrestling ring.
You are a...
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I participated in a Ring of Honor. I don't know if you've heard of Ring of Honor. It's a sort of...
I thought out in Hollywood they call that male bonding.
Yeah, well, yes, they do. But that's not the kind of wrestling that
okay, I got it all confused, man.
I'm a professional
I've been watching the Golf Channel too much. Morning Drive, man.
But I did a Ring of Honor pay-per-view event in Nashville, Tennessee with Matt Hardy.
Wow.
About 4 years ago,
Okay.
where I basically was his manager and I walked him to the ring and I got involved. And
You're a heel, aren't you?
I was kind of a heel, you know,
Okay.
which is a very unnatural. You know, I'm basically a babyface in real life, but in the wrestling ring, I play a heel.
I see. The wrestling deal kind of... God, here we are jumping around again, but you know, it's because it's Nick Searcy.
Oh, yeah.
And
There's just so much to talk about.
There is
You
no
can't-
boundary on this
Master
guy.
of disguise.
You can't
Nick-
pin him down. No.
He actually, just as a sideline, just something to do this year, earlier, maybe it was last year.
It was Christmas holidays.
Christmas
last year.
holiday. He has never done radio before. He never did a podcast. So he just thought he'd take this little gig, and he filled in for Rush Limbaugh. The only star, the only actor, the only non-radio political, I mean, you took the reins. You sat at the largest radio show in the world.
Yeah.
And you shared something that I was astounded. I thought it was probably the coolest thing I've heard in ages. We just called it the allegory. You explained to Rush's listeners, in a way I dare say even Rush had not really explained, the Trump phenomenon. And
Well, yes.
you did this in wrestling terms. I don't know if you have the energy to give us a little version of the wrestling allegory, but if you do, people need to hear this.
In a nutshell, people don't understand Trump's appeal. And what I presented to them was that Trump was basically a wrestling heel. That basically, in the old days of wrestling, it used to be that the bad guys cheated and the baby faces, the good guys, kind of lost. They just sort of let the guys cheat and then they didn't fight back on those terms. But Trump is more like the modern wrestling heel, which started with Steve Austin, when Steve Austin started coming out and basically using heel tactics against the good guy wrestlers. Instead of being hit with the steel chair, he would pick up the steel chair and hit them back. Of course, the audience went crazy. And that's what Trump is. Trump is the heel. He doesn't wait for the bad guy wrestlers to hit him. he enters the ring with the steel chair and just starts whopping people in the head, and he cheats from the beginning. He's just like, he's a heel. And of course, the modern audience, which is now more, they're more concerned with results than they are with like who's doing things the right way. They're responding to Trump because he's winning. He comes in and he cheats just as badly as the other guys cheat, but he wins. And so that's the analogy in a nutshell.
So it's all that pent up frustration from watching the wrestler, watching these people cheat, and I think you said they brought out like Nancy Pelosi and all these other heels.
Yeah.
And everybody, and the referee was just looking the other way.
Right.
And they were just whacking away. And
the Republicans of that time before Trump were just sort of taking the chair shots and the brass knuckles to the mouth and all that while the ref wasn't looking and going, well, we're above all that and we're not going to fight back on those terms because we're better than they are. But Trump's like, nah, I'm not better than they are. I'll hit them back just as hard as they hit me. I don't care. You know?
That's the story. Yeah.
So true.
That's true, yeah.
So you came from Cullowhee. Did I pronounce that right?
Cullowhee, North Carolina.
Cullowhee, North Carolina. What was the trip? How did this happen? Cullowhee to what? New York to Hollywood? Is that the way it went?
Yeah, pretty much. I decided I wanted to be an actor, and so after college I moved to New York City and lived there for 7 years and did a lot of plays and worked a lot of odd jobs and took some acting lessons and just sort of...
Which restaurant were you at?
I was a terrible waiter. I never was a waiter.
Okay.
I was a limousine driver, and then hung wallpaper for a while, and then I was a legal proofreader. That was how I really made the bulk of my living.
Wow.
It was like,
okay.
Back then, you could proofread overnight, like work from 11 p.m. to 7 in the morning, and then you could go to auditions, and then you could sleep after that.
So your typical actor, you were a legal proofreader.
That's right. That's right.
And back in Cullowhee, your parents were in the restaurant business, right?
Yeah.
And one time I heard this thing. It was so good. Nick's a musician too.
Really?
Yes. And you had an act. What was your band called?
Nick Fear, the most terrifying name in rock and roll.
Of glory and suicide machines sprung from cages down on Highway 9, chrome wheel fuel injected and stepping out over the line. Oh, baby, this town rips the bone from your back. It's a damn trap. It's a suicide rap. We gotta get out while we're young. Cause to rams like us, baby, we were born to run. I think I just had an accident in my pants.
When I heard that name.
Yeah. You didn't know you were with Nick Fear, did you?
Oh,
and
and
then, we were also known as a band gone mad with its own power. That
superheroes.
Yeah. But, we did a jingle for my parents' restaurant, which is what Roy's referring to.
If you're feeling hungry and you need a good meal quick, come down to the Parkway where you can have your pick of seafood, fresh vegetables, lunch specials every day. Best homemade pies in the whole wide world. Yippee! Best coffee in the USA.
Best coffee in the USA.
Wow, that's good.
I think I'm going down there right now.
Yeah, man, the best coffee in the USA.
I'm going to Disneyland now after that one.
Best coffee in the USA.
And that was before they had all that fancy candy-ass
Oh,
coffee.
yeah, no, this was JFG coffee.
Hey, I thought I was sitting next to Jimi Hendrix. I thought you were going to sing a little Purple Haze after that.
Well, the instrumentation on that song, one of my best friends is Andy York, who plays guitar for John Mellencamp now.
There's one little thing we've overlooked here so far. That's a TV show that you did, kind of a cowboy thing called Justified.
I've heard of it.
Do you remember that?
I remember it, vaguely.
Well, all I know is I looked up last night. I was going to play a segment or two and see what you did on that a little bit more, and I got online on the cable, and they were charging $34.99 per episode to watch it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't know if I can get that back from Nick tomorrow or win that from him on the golf course, so I didn't see it. So
just so you know, every time you pay $34.99 for
What's
an
your cut on
episode,
that?
I only get about $30.
Oh, do you?
That's all.
Give me that 30-second synopsis of Justified that you did online one time.
Oh gosh, Justified was about this very dignified and handsome chief deputy who had this very unruly marshal named Raylan Givens, and then there were some bad guy stuff and a lot of other stuff that I really didn't read because I didn't have any of those lines.
Okay,
so
sure, yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Well, this was my link I wanted to bring on. You know, we said he was in Castaway earlier with Tom Hanks, and my last name is Wilson, and so there's some kind of cosmic thing going on there too.
That damn Wilson, he had more close-ups than I did in that movie.
He did, didn't he?
He was a better friend to Tom than I was.
Yep, Dick was out there. Probably doing a game show or something.
Yeah, I was the game show. I went the game show route. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What
kind of show? Game?
Well, this isn't about me.
Okay.
I mean, it can be if we want to like turn the tape.
I thought maybe you were going to talk.
Well, we can take a sideline from talking about me for a moment.
Thinking teas that we use after you said a game show host.
Well, I don't want to throw too much around, but I've gone to bathroom in Dick Clark's Malibu house.
Wow, man, that's a little too much for the kid. Man.
And he missed.
I may have to close my ears on that one.
Wait,
man.
wait.
Wow.
Number one or number two?
It was a one.
It was one.
It was one.
Okay.
I didn't.
You didn't drop the mother load.
I didn't leave any DNA as far as I know.
Man,
so.
If you did that, man, you own the house.
Well, I should probably.
Alarms would have went off, and the people say, "Hey, you can have it."
Probably should, but yeah, that's the big deal there. Okay, we need to Heimlich Loy here.
We almost killed Loy with that one. We almost killed Loy.
Oh, guys.
You can't be sucking in the ass, and then you got to blow the smoke out once in a while.
Yeah.
Thanks, Art.
What areas have we not examined in the Nick Searcy empire yet? Anything else?
Well, my daughter is now in the business.
Really?
Out in California. Yeah, she's
Cool.
28 years old. She's working as a writer and working right now on a show called Sneaky Pete, which I hear is good.
I've heard of that, yeah.
I hear it's good. I'm not in it, so I don't watch it. But she also she's doing very well. She sold a movie to a network a couple weeks ago.
That is a big deal.
Which is a big deal. And
She gets all of her talents from the mother's side of the family, ain't that right?
That's right. She gets her looks from me and her range from me, and the other stuff she gets from
all the bad
Leslie.
stuff.
Yeah, she gets her.
I have the same issue.
And that's Chloe. And is she going to use your name?
Yeah, so far she has, and nobody's made the connection yet. And I hope, lucky for her. So, no, she's doing very well.
She's very talented, yeah.
And my son Omar has just graduated from high school and is getting ready to go to college and play some basketball. So
cool.
And he's a talented lad.
He is.
He's a bit of a dancer, actually.
He is quite the dancer.
Would you give us just a short list of some of the celebrities that live on your street out in L.A.?
Well, actually, there is one, David Eigenberg, who's not really a celebrity. He's not like me, but he's on that show Chicago Fire. I guess.
Okay, gotcha.
And he was on Sex and the City and stuff like that.
Okay,
and, he does very well.
Do you have someone mow your lawn for you out in L.A., or do you do that yourself?
Yes. No. It's against the law to mow your own lawn.
I thought there was some
sort
of stipulation.
If you mow out there, it can't have no gas, and it's got to be electric.
Right.
You don't
right.
Okay.
Right. Well, that's you have to have people with push mowers. You can't. There's no engines allowed.
Yeah, those little things, the blades.
I thought last time I was there, I saw someone with a scythe.
Yes. Right. Yeah, we like it all done. Usually I don't let them use tools at all. They just have to sort of pinch the grass off.
Yeah.
No, you got to talk to it first and let it know that you're going to spend some time with it.
There you go.
I'm going to hug you up. I'm going to hug you till you die.
Right.
Now, one other quick thing. I'm just trying to, examine the real Nick Searcy here. Your swimming pool, salt water or fresh water?
We had salt water for a while, but it became a little bit, it was too salty.
Yeah.
And so we went back to the traditional.
Did you? Okay. All right, good.
Chlorinated pool.
You put potatoes in there, too, so just remind you back home in the hills of You know,
Yeah.
make your own little.
Well, we grow tomato plants all around it, you know. So
Yeah.
Now, you have a tangerine and a lime tree in your yard, right?
yes, and an avocado tree.
Do you?
Oh, really?
An avocado. What's that from?
Avocado, yes.
Wow.
It's different than an avocado.
Oh, it's from
It's kind of like
northern
not
part of
avocado.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not real avocado. And we have a lemon tree. And we have a money tree.
Yeah, you do.
No, not really. It just
okay.
seems like that because I'm so rich. But
I know what you mean, yeah. Loy was out in L.A. a few days ago. I know you guys hooked up out there, kind of got together.
well, I wouldn't. No, we didn't.
Yeah,
hook
I know
up.
what you mean.
Yeah, don't even sound
But
right.
We saw each other. I mean, you know.
you know, I know Loy, the Kansas City guy. What is Loy, the L.A. guy, like?
He is a rollicking voiceover entrepreneur.
Is he?
Who
Okay.
hangs out with other voiceover entrepreneurs, many of whom are, you know, aging, washed-up actors.
Sure. Okay.
Who are now making their living doing voiceover, and
Yeah.
they don't quite know what to make of Lloyd because he's not cut from that cloth.
Well, that's true. He just comes into town like a stealth guy,
Right.
picks up some jobs and leaves.
And he got the looks.
I do have the Hollywood kind of look,
He has a face for radio.
and I get all the voiceover gigs from everybody who's not from New York or L.A. If a script comes in and it's for a Appalachian hillbilly
Okay.
or somebody from Wisconsin or somebody from Texas, it doesn't matter. It's all flyover country to the casting people, and they go, give it to Loy. He'll read it. He's from there.
He's from out there somewhere. You know.
Or down there.
Yeah,
He's
over
from down
there.
there.
So if they say, can you do somebody from Cullowhee? I go, yeah, I can nail that. I got
And that's
that
because
one
of me.
down. That's right. I've been studying that voice.
Well, Loy's big $1 million is going to come from Longhorn Leghorn, or what is it? What's that cartoon character? Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't talk about that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Warner Brothers doesn't like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
They like it to remain a mystery.
They don't want anybody to know anything.
They don't want that face out there.
Nope.
Well, it's been a pleasure having Nick with us. I want to make sure we're not missing anything. Is there
I can't think of
anything
anything
else that you can't tell us?
Except for the fact that I was in 2 Academy Award nominated movies this year.
This year,
Nominated for Best Picture.
Shape of Water.
I wanted to ask you about that. I saw that with my SAG-AFTRA free copy to vote in the SAG-AFTRA Awards, but I don't remember where you were in that.
I was the big bad general that came in and said, kill that thing.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I remember that. All right, cool.
What was the other one?
3 billboards. 3 billboards.
Yeah, that was a good one, too. And your character in there was?
I was a priest that got cursed out by Frances McDormand. I was sitting in her
cool.
living room.
Now,
And that
yeah.
was like a little cameo, but the reason that happened is that movie was shot in my hometown in Sylva, North Carolina.
Oh, really?
And it's illegal for people to make a movie in Sylva, North Carolina that I'm not in. So that's a town ordinance that was passed some years ago.
I love that.
So were you a Catholic priest?
Yes, I was.
Okay, well, you played another minister too, didn't you?
Well, not a Catholic minister.
No, I mean,
That was back in New York when no one would hire me. You're going way back
I'm
into the
going way
archive.
back, but I mean,
I had a one-man show called Reverend Jimmy Lee Curtis's Hour of Awesome Power, which was about a street evangelist who was preaching indoors for the first time. So
you don't remember any of the jewels from that, do you? Like, did you have people come up on crutches or anything, or?
I remember I had all these heckling, like if people heckled me, if they talked back to me, I had all these lines stored up. And I think one that I remember was, well, you think that's funny, do you? You think this is funny? Well, it's not going to be so funny someday when you wake up in hell and Satan rips your head off and blows fire down your neck hole.
Wow. They got medication for that problem. I think Dr. Phil could work with you a little bit. I think
Oh,
he could
really?
do that.
Well, you think that's funny, do you?
Well,
It won't be too funny when Satan busts through the wall back here and jams his pitchfork up your behind and takes you down to hell without even letting you die. And don't think it can't happen, because I've seen it.
That's right. That's right.
Well, my hemorrhoids are feeling so much better already. Man, I don't have to sit on a bag of ice no more.
He's hooping.
I did.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm flowing right now. Oh, you flowing? Well, you know, constipated people don't give a crap anyhow.
That's right. But I did used to get an awful lot of crazy things in the collection plate when I did that show.
Oh, I'll bet so.
People would give me condoms and, all kinds of stuff. That would be you think this is funny, don't you?
Can we still see those? Are they still floating around in the social world?
That was a one-man show that was I did for 3 years, and I made maybe a total of about $800.
Okay.
I'll say, but that'd be something to bring back.
Yeah, but I mean, it might be fun to have a 60-year-old Reverend Jimmy Lee Curtis. He was always, when I did it, I was in my 20s.
Let's talk to our host.
I'd like to. We're going to invite Nick to be one of our hosts here as we interview Art Still for a moment.
Oh, okay.
You remember Art Still?
Yes.
Arthur Barry.
Arthur Barry Still. I have his card in front of me. This says Still for life. Is that right?
He's throwing gang signs.
Oh, there you go. Oh, okay.
Oh man, back off.
I went to North.
And then I'm too legit to
There you go.
Still number4life.com.
Okay, gotcha. Tell us about this thing and what you're doing. You're working with some football teams and all kinds of stuff, aren't you?
As Nick was saying, I was pretty fortunate as far as having the opportunity of playing with the Chiefs, for about 10 years, a couple years up in Buffalo. So, the aftermath of that, a lot of people invite you to a lot of functions where they raise money and awareness of issues and problems within our community and all, too. So I've been involved with that. Also with Still for Life, I work along. I got another partner, Greg Justice. He's of AYC and stuff. We co-author a book called Mind Over Head Chatter. It's a 6-week program and all, not only the book, but also it's a program, a 6-week program, and we have the app that goes along with it. But it helps, young ones to appreciate what they learn in organized sports. A lot of times, within, some sports and all, and, just like even with football, are starting to get a bad name, so to speak, and all, and everything has its pros and its cons. But one of the nice things with football or any other organized sports, you learn the soft skills, especially kids are not learning today. You think about within the home environment, back when I was growing up, probably when all was growing up, usually had our mother was home and she directed us and all too. And that was only, we learned a lot of soft skills there as far as working together as a family, chores and those types of things. But nowadays, both parents working, you're not getting that type of instruction. The kids are not learning those soft skills. So one of the places you learn it is organized sports and all. And one of the things we find out too, one of the most important persons in a child's life, especially mine, would be a coach. So all these things, we're trying to incorporate as far as working along with the school system and different sports and all too, of, acknowledging, teamwork, perseverance, when you fall, you got to get back up. All these things that you learn working together. And one of the most important things is having a good support system and all, which could be your parents, positive people within the community and all, your teachers or whatever. So, which
very cool.
Personally for myself, I can speak for myself. I wish it was out back when I was growing up and all too. But again, it's something as we learn, we pass on and all too.
Very cool. Yeah.
Well, that's great stuff, Art.
Yeah.
Where did you play, if you don't mind me asking, where did you play before the Chiefs? Where did you play college?
I'm from Camden, New Jersey, right across from Philadelphia. You got the hat on.
Yeah.
You got the police hat on. Every time I see it, I put my hands up in the wall, man. I say, hey, save me. No, I went to Camden High School. I was pretty fortunate of getting a scholarship at University of Kentucky. Highest academic university on the side of Mississippi. And then got drafted back in 1978. If you guys remember Earl Campbell, I got drafted right behind Earl.
Oh, wow.
Went to the Kansas City Chiefs for 10 years and played up in Buffalo. And then, like I said, after that, I was trying to fill the world, replace the world. So I had 5 girls, 6 boys, and still working on that right now.
Yeah.
Lower back problems, that's why, that's why I'm here today and all, to get some advice from the experts at the table here.
Well, there's a webpage, you can check it out, still4life.com, still4life.com. And how many schools you're working with at the moment?
Right now, our book just came out about 3 months ago.
Okay.
So now we're getting out in front of folks and all. We just started for Fort Osage and Independence and all.
Yeah.
And we're just getting information out, because one of the problems too within the school system and all, they don't have the fundings and all too. So what we're doing too is marketing, working along with corporate sponsors and all, so that
exactly.
And for me, just I always tell people, I'm a lifeaholic, so to speak. You know, my passion is for life and all. So my life, just like with Nick and all, you know, you don't have that much money, do you, man? You just living off.
I'm living off the government, you know.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
And so the thing is,
Me
you know,
too.
hey, free willy and send money, please. No,
yeah.
but you know, life is about helping others and all, especially young ones and all. So that's what my life's centered around. Right?
Very good.
Now, is your book something that, like, say, a young athlete that maybe is getting ready to go into college?
I would, and that's what it's geared towards. Not only college and all, but more so helping young ones. Maybe in junior high school. We got like 2 or 3 programs and all for different age groups. But the nice thing about it is it talks on subjects and all that, you know, even the juniors and seniors, when they're in that leadership position as far as with the sports or whatever, there's things, qualities that we need to know about and have an understanding. And then along with the coaches and all working together with the same goal in mind, not only for the sports side, but more so those are going to take them to the real life, the big game, you know, which is life and all too, as far as being able to work in the workplace, entrepreneurs, and you go on and on. And I think part of the situation, because we learn the soft skills within the school system, is in the creative arts, musician and all, and they're cutting back a lot of those things and all too.
Well, we've got enough actors and musicians, you know. Everybody out there that's thinking about going into that should just stop right now. We have enough.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
We're full.
WWE, man. No, shucks.
No, I can't get work as it is. We got plenty of actors.
Oh, you do? Okay. Let's cut that part out there and all.
Yeah, we'll back
But hey,
that.
you know,
Nick will let us know when we need more actors.
So I was watching, and I, you know, maybe I shouldn't push any shows, but like on HBO they had a show, sports show and all, and they was talking about Dean, I'm trying to think of his name, but he's an entrepreneur, inventor and all. Man, I seen that was pretty exciting, because it was some of the guys were ball players in high school. They encourage young ones to get into engineering, robots, and those types of things.
Sure.
Matter of fact, they have the world championship deal just came up in Houston just recently, and I thought that was pretty unique, because it's the same thing as that team setting, working together, creating something that's going to make a difference, you know, within our community and all.
Excellent.
And just I'd like to throw in that the star of Gosnell is Dean Kane, who played football for 1 year.
Oh, really?
Played professional football.
Oh, cool.
See how that all? You see how that all meshes in
It
there
just
together,
all came
huh?
right in.
We're with the great Art Still, the fabulous Hollywood actor Nick Searcy, Dick Wilson. This is Loy Edge. We are having a blast. We're going to go. Dick, should we go down and get a quick cocktail in the lounge
Let's
and
head
then
down
come
and get a
back
cocktail,
and talk to Kendall
Need a
Culbertson?
little break, and they'll find out more about the Outlaw here.
Yeah,
okay?
all right.
Well, I don't
sounds good,
drink.
guys.
What am I going to do?
Just here, carry my cigar.
Oh, it's you guys. Oh, Dick and Dick. My name's Loy. That's what I said. Hey, Kojak, make yourself useful. Give me some Jack. Yes, sir. I'm doing a song about the heat here. What do you do for fun around here? Stick to your chair? Hit it, boys. The summer heat don't skip a beat in old Casey town. Ain't no spring, it's the damnedest thing, how it just won't cool down. All summer long, I'll sing this song about how great this weather ain't. My main complaint is your summer heat. Like these mosquito bites, these days and nights they go dragging by. The sun beats down on this freaking town till you wanna die. crime runs amok, plus the royals suck when the thermostat goes red. Plus I burn my head in your summer heat. Too much summer heat. Lousy summer heat.
Hey, well, that was great. A great song. Once again, Frank, thanks for being with us. We appreciate that. All right.
Dick, I don't know about that guy.
I don't either, yeah. Boy, what a great place we're at here.
Isn't this cool?
I love it.
It's the Outlaw South. It's 137th and Metcalf. And if you haven't been here, this is like the world's largest man cave. It's a fantastic place. Big squishy chairs and TVs and all kinds of fun artwork and things to look at. And it's all the brainchild of Kendall Culbertson, who I think has at least two other places in town. He's a high-tech entrepreneur who has gotten into a lot of other interesting things lately. Kendall, thanks for having us, man. This is a great place.
Yeah, baby. Thanks for having me.
How did you get into the cigar business?
I'll tell you what, I was in the IT business, and all I could figure out is my customers were always pissed, my employees were always pissed. I had to find a business that everybody loved being there.
Everybody was happy.
Everybody was happy. And I'll tell you what, this is the business, and if you think about it, there is no other business where everybody's constantly thanking you for being there. This is it. We're the only place where an old guy can go hang out and enjoy camaraderie with other guys.
And it is busy all the time. I mean, there are a bunch of great characters in this place and plenty of stuff to do. You got card games going on. You got, a bar to sit at and a lot of TV. A gigantic humidor filled with great products. Some of it is your own product.
Correct.
Tell us about that. You make cigars.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I spent about 8 years going down to Nicaragua, Honduras, Dominican Republic. I'd go every month, spend a week there, and blend with the greatest blenders in the world. Generally speaking, they're Cuban guys, and so I learned from the best. And after about 3 years of studying the art of blending, I started coming out with my own cigars. Now I have a national brand called Gunslinger Cigar.
I'll be darned. Well, that is
and
phenomenal.
You had another brand that you developed and sold, and they were wonderful, and now you're into your second product line, Gunslinger. And tell us about where are these available? I mean, how's that going?
Well,
give us an idea about how in the world do you have your own cigar line, and how do they get sold? Who's smoking them? Where do they go?
Well, I'll tell you, we sell them to cigar stores all over the country, so you just go to your local cigar store to look these things up. But because of overburdensome regulation by the FDA and the U.S. government, I'm probably not in business but another couple of years having my own brand, because the FDA is basically shutting down 75% of the manufacturers.
Really?
So right now I'm going strong, but I see the end in sight for me. So I'm branching out, and so the next cigar store that I'm now getting ready to build the building. We're got the pad site ready to go. We're doing a brewery, a distillery, and then I'm putting in some golf simulators to just try to give the guys something more to do than just sit around and talk. We got some activities we can do.
Are you making craft beer? Are you making vodka? What are you making?
Craft beer as well as whiskeys.
Okay, all right.
Now, have you got a name for all that?
It's going to be Outlaw Cigar Brewing.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with the same name.
Well, you've definitely got a heck of a reputation going. So
It's
got
gonna
3
be a
stores
blast.
going great guns. And
It's going to be a blast.
yeah, absolutely.
What is the problem that the FDA has?
Well, the very first law that Obama signed into when he got into office was in his first 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
It was a holdover law that Bush said he would veto, and it was the child health care. It's known as S-chip. Well, that gave the FDA full regulation control over all tobacco. And so the FDA's mandate was to find those areas where kids were getting tobacco. And they deemed that cigar stores were a place that kids were getting tobacco.
Oh.
We all know that's not true. You have to be 21 to come in my store, where the federal law is 18.
Okay.
But they decided that, and so they decided to regulate, and so to have a blend. So one cigar, so for me, say my black powder cigar, is $330,000 to get through all the testing process with the
Wow.
FDA. August of 2021 is when everything is fully in effect and everybody will be out of business that cannot afford $350,000 per blend.
Wow. So you say a couple of years. Will this building become a Cheddar's restaurant again, or what do you think?
No, cigar business will still survive.
Yeah.
So cigar stores I'll still be here as a cigar store.
Okay.
But we won't have much options in terms of cigars to smoke.
I see.
75% of everything that's on the shelf will be gone.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have to smoke, the old brands, because everything was grandfathered pre-2007, as if it's different tobacco, because it's all the same tobacco. So if you made your cigars before 2007, they deem those to be fine.
So are people buying these up and saving them as collector's items? Or?
Well, the American consumer is not very aware of this issue. We make our customers aware. Of course, they write the letters to the Congress and, all that kind of stuff. But the people are just, in America, we kind of have that euphoria that nothing bad's going to happen to me. The feds aren't ever going to do anything to me that I enjoy. But the reality is it's going to be a big change for everybody.
So this is another case of one of these regulatory agencies grossly overplaying their hand. They're forcing this industry into consolidation, which is bad for everybody.
Right.
Except for a handful of global concerns.
That's right. The big guys like this. The little guys are going to be gone. And it's very sad, because the reality is people that understand what's going on in Washington, they don't like it, but they're just not aware of it. I'm sure that Trump is not aware of this overburdensome regulation. If he was, I think he'd put a stop to it.
Well, let's hope that
Where's the
trend gets
new location you're working on? Where can we find that?
It's going to be off 635 down by the Argosy Casino, right on the highway. I have 3.5 acres. We'll have outdoor putting, driving range. I'm going to have a full golf school there. So we're going to be a big facility right there, about 10,000 square feet. It is Riverside. And the reason I'm in Riverside is City of Kansas City does not allow you to have a liquor license if you sell tobacco. The state of Missouri does, though. So I had to move out of the city in order to make this happen.
Come on over to Missouri.
Yeah.
Welcome to Missouri.
Well, that's a pretty rough deal that's going on. I hope we get this reversed. People have got to, pay attention to this, because this is a trend in a lot of industries. It's really insidious.
Yeah, they lumped us in with all the vape guys. So they're treating us exactly like they're treating the vape. But we all know vapes are kids, and cigars are old guys.
Yeah.
So it's not fair to be lumped in with that, but that's what they've done.
Yeah.
You got to protect these 60-year-old guys from enjoying themselves.
We got to have somewhere to go. Wow. Well, that's good. Well, thank you for being our host today. We appreciate it.
No problem.
That.
I enjoyed it. Thank you, guys.
And
I appreciate it.
thank you for a little golf thing this morning. That was a great deal, too. So
the Outlaw, it's a fantastic cigar store and a great place to hang out, and wish you the best on that new one. That sounds like an exciting deal.
Kick ass. Come on down and party with us.
Drink your whiskey, your Outlaw. What are you going to call the whiskey? You know yet?
Well, they're going to be different names, like Black Powder and Pale Face, and we're going to do some good stuff. Is that going to be
just American whiskey, like corn whiskey?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something very unique. I'm going to use craft beer to create whiskey. So typically you use corn and rye. You don't use the high-end malts and some of the grains that you get with craft beer. But I'm actually going to use the wort from craft beer to distill my whiskey. So it'll be a very different whiskey than what's on the market today.
A unique value proposition, again, coming from Kendall Culbertson.
very cool. Hey, you mentioned you have a lot of events out in the parking lot here. When can people come and get involved in those
we have
things?
monthly events. We usually get 500,000 people here. A lot of military. Every event has a charity, military aspect. Car clubs, bike clubs, girls, everything an old guy would like.
I see you've got a lot of military stuff.
Big into the military.
Big following. You donate products.
Yeah, we do. We ship 3 to 6 packages a week overseas to the military guys.
And they send you thank you posters, great pictures, and
now I might know
it's a lot of fun.
That the FDA made that illegal. So I hope this podcast reach out to law enforcement and somebody comes in and arrests me for this, because I just think it's the greatest thing that they've taken away from us to supply our military with cigars. And I don't know if the thing is, when you get letters back from these guys, you realize that this is a big deal to them. When they go do a mission, they are all wound up inside. And when they come back and they can take a cigar, a piece of America, and relax and decompress from their mission, this is, my opinion, it's saving a lot of guys from PTSD, or at least helping to push it back.
Exactly. Well, I hope the law enforcement out there is listening, that there is a man in Overland Park in Kansas City, Missouri, who is sending cigars to our military who are fighting to defend us. And we have got to stop this.
It's crazy. So we have monthly events, and every event is a charity, and most of the times it's a military charity.
Wonderful.
So we raise money every single month for the military.
Very cool. Well, thank you so very much. We appreciate that.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you.
You guys kick ass.
All right, thanks. Well, that about wraps up the show. Loy, you want to grab some more cigars and do a couple other beers and play the guy singing the end of the show?
Yeah, why not? I'm smoking a Gunslinger Perdition, and it is great.
I'm doing the Gunslinger Pale Face because I'm a newbie, and it's good. Very good. And Art, what are you smoking there?
I'm ingesting some black powder, and you got the pale face. How come? Why can't we all just get along?
That's not right.
Why has it always got to be about color?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for being with us, all of our great guests, and you listening there. That's pretty cool. And let's close the show out with a bit more of the Nick Fear Experience.
Love it, you might hate it. It's my favorite freaking show.